Hello, my name is Kimberly Kerr, and I'm a graduate student at Grand Canyon University to pursue a master's in early childhood education and special education. My educational philosophy is to be the type of teacher I would want my own son to have. One who values students' identities, recognizes their strengths, and creates inclusive learning environments where every student can succeed and eventually turn their struggle into a strength. Today, I will discuss culturally responsive teaching, supporting the diverse needs of English learners, and how to build strong connections between home and school. First, I'd like to discuss culturally responsive teaching. Culture strongly influences how students communicate, learn, and engage in academic settings. Language practices, family structures, traditions, values, and prior educational experiences all shape how English learners make meaning of instruction. Research on culturally responsive teaching, including the work of Geneva Gay, emphasizes that instruction is most effective when students' cultural identities are affirmed and integrated into learning experiences. Cultural competence involves an educator's ongoing effort to understand, respect, and respond thoughtfully to students' cultural and linguistic backgrounds. For English learners, culturally competent instruction supports asset-based teaching practices that maintain high expectations while reducing barriers to participation. Instruction designed through this lens increases engagement and supports academic success. English learners' cultural values and beliefs can be integrated through culturally relevant pedagogy, as selecting diverse texts, incorporating real-world examples connected to students' lived experiences, and encouraging multiple perspectives during classroom discussions. These practices allow students to connecting new, prior knowledge while developing academic language. Culture also plays a central role in language acquisition. Inclusive school and classroom environments encourage students to take risks with language and actively participate in learning. Visual support, structured routines, collaborative learning opportunities, and multilingual resources contribute to a sense of safety and belonging. Research on bilingualism and language development, including the work of Ophelia Garcia and Li Wei, highlights that allowing students to draw from their full linguistic repertoire strengthens comprehension and language growth. Cultural diversity can be effectively supported and affirmed through the intentional use of culturally responsive read-alouds, project-based learning connected to students' communities, and structured opportunities for students to share and apply their cultural knowledge. Leveraging home language and cultural assets through translanguaging practices affirms identity while supporting deeper academic understanding. Now, I'd like to discuss supporting the needs of English learners in the classroom. English learners bring a wide range of strengths, needs, and identities into the classroom, including newcomers, students with interrupted formal education, and dually identified students with disabilities. Responsive instruction begins with understanding students' linguistic proficiency, cultural background, and individual learning needs. Instructional frameworks such as the Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol, developed by Jana Echevarria, Mary Ellen Vogt, and Deborah Short, emphasize the importance of clear language objectives, scaffolding, and meaningful interaction for English learners. Differentiated instruction aligned to language proficiency levels, purposeful growing, and supports such as sentence frames, visuals, and modeling promote equitable access to grade-level content. Addressing the social and emotional needs of English learners is essential for academic success. Language barriers, cultural adjustment, and prior educational experiences may contribute to anxiety or disengagement. Intentional relationship building, social-emotional learning practices, and cultural affirming classroom strategies support student well-being and engagement. An understanding of students' social, emotional, and cultural needs is critical when establishing effective classroom routines and procedures. Routines that are explicitly taught, visually supported, and consistently reinforced to help English learners navigate classroom expectations with confidence. Establishing predictable routines supports cognitive efficiency, thereby enhancing students' capacity to focus both on language development and academic content. Lastly, I'd like to discuss the connection between home and school. Family and community practices, commonly conceptualized as funds of knowledge, represent valuable linguistic and cultural resources that shape and support language development. Research introduced by Louise Moll and colleagues highlight that families bring valuable knowledge and experiences that can meaningfully enhance classroom instruction when intentionally integrated. Meaningful collaboration between families, communities, and schools depend on communication that is respectful, consistent, and accessible to all stakeholders. Effective practices include providing translated materials, using multiple communication platforms, and clearly explaining school expectations and available supports. Creating welcoming opportunities for families to participate in school activities fosters trust and collaboration. Family engagement practices that highlight home language assets include encouraging families to maintain and develop the home language, offering strategies to support literacy at home, and providing culturally responsive guidance for navigating school systems. Inclusive community engagement may further include collaborations with local organizations, cultural institutions, and community leaders that support multilingual families and extending learning opportunities beyond the classroom. When families are viewed as partners and their contributions are valued, English learners experience increased academic confidence, language development, and social connection. The intentional use of English learner assets, supported by culturally responsive pedagogy and homeschool relationships, contributes to the development of equitable and inclusive educational environments. Grounded in research on culturally responsive pedagogy, translanguaging, shelter instruction, and funded knowledge, these practices empower English learners to thrive academically, linguistically, and socially. I hope this video provided meaningful insight. Thank you for the opportunity to share these essential practices and for your continued commitment to supporting multilingual learners. God bless.